to the depths that he sunk. Big stress, depressed in the middle of fall. Sky gray, I late in the thick of it all. I wonder, how long can a human survive just staying alive or carrying the rest of the tribe? Waiting for the day to arrive or struggling dies, and I be doing way, way more than getting by. So why? Cop myself a cup of coffee, sip of water in it softly. Myself a cup of coffee, sip of water when it's softly, cleansing me and stress I hold. I needed me some rainy days, so I needed me some rainy days, so for the weary, so we teary eyes realize life is so much more than just living a day. Every day I can sit and reflect and reconnect to myself and all that I've been given. See, giving up is not an option. So when I'm looking at gray skies, I'll be adopting a new way to deal with a test. Lord, relieve me of stress and bring me looking like we're blessings dropping. And so I got myself a cup of coffee, sip of water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Coffee, sip of water in it softly, cleansing me of stress I hold. Hey, here we go. Yeah. Let's do this. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. In times of test, let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Test. Let no harm beset me, oh my Lord, oh my Lord. Woo.
Warning, the following image and/or content may be disturbing, offensive to some viewers. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Man, Lionel, guess what, bro?
What's up?
So, check this out. So, even on the paid plan of ChatGPT, Pukisha has her time limit. Her maximum limit is 15 minutes. Ain't that about a bitch?
What kind of shit?
Ain't that crazy, bro?
Yo.
Yeah, because I'll sit up here researching because like when we was doing our tests and stuff with her, right? I noticed that it showed you got 15 minutes left. I'm like, what? Oh, the paid plan? Y'all got me like messed up.
That's bullshit.
Oh, the paid plan. Damn.
They gotta work on that. Ain't no way you paying for it and you getting limited like that.
Yeah, that's off the chain, bro. That is off the chain. So if we do bring Pukisha back up, it probably towards the middle of the show, whatever. Since she only got
Okay.
15 more minutes to talk, but it's all good. But salute everybody. Welcome to the show. This is the Ask Urban Anything show. I run the show every single month, y'all. Where y'all can come up and either have a conversation with me, or you can ask me any questions your heart desire in the chat as well too. So it don't matter. So we'll do it. We do it. I have my executive producer Lionel. He is in the building right now. So what's up with it?
Good evening to the lounge. Good evening, everyone. How you doing?
Oh man. So we got a couple of things that we can't talk about, bro. Like did you hear about the T out, bro?
Did something new happen?
Yeah.
What happened?
Actually, the men's T app had came out. It's
I
called
only
T-O.
I only heard that it came out. That's all I heard.
Yeah, so the new T out for men is called T on Her app. That came out. It didn't go too well. So the same
Damn,
situation.
already?
Yeah, the same situation happened, bro. Where O2 ended up doing a data breach, man. But these fools here were wilding out on that app. The moment when the app got released, guess what? Them dudes was sitting up here sending down news and new pics and everything, bro. They were like wilding out like crazy. They were wilding out like crazy, bro.
What is wrong with these niggas?
Man, say on the cool though, I came like really close to go ahead and download that app and getting on there. But since I seen them had that data leak again and they asking for an ID too, they would say nope for me. Not doing it. Not doing it at all because I got to protect my information. I got to protect my confidential information. Y'all not fixing to get my stuff all over the black web and dark YouTube, whatever you want to call that crap. Dark web. Forget that.
Exactly. You got to go to Cornhub. That's the only place you got to give them their ID.
Mm-hmm. Facts. Once again, everybody, welcome to the lounge tonight. This is the Ask Urban Anything show. We do the show on every month where I allow you as the viewer to ask me any questions your heart desire, or if you're feeling up to it, by all means, you could go ahead and hit the link and join the conversation. All right. This is the show where, you can ask anything. We could talk about anything. It don't matter to me. Wherever your heart desires, we could talk about it. It don't matter to me at all. Versus my main shows that I'll be having every single, day or wherever, But yeah, man. So what else going on in your world, bro?
Man, I really want to fire this one dude. They won't let me. The store manager, he got to do something, but they not letting me get rid of him.
Shoot, what bro doing, man?
Not his job. He over here making demands. And it's like, who the hell are you to be making demands? Like, he wants to make his own schedule. He wants to pick what he works. He wants to tell us when he works, how he works. Dude wants to smoke in the store. Like, I don't think you want a job.
So he ain't about that life, bro.
This Ethiopian chick, she fine as hell.
Lionel, come
But
on now,
no,
bro.
I want to get rid of this dude. Like, real talk. Hey, I get distracted, but I got to be on point because that's a big issue right now. And then we got to hire a new person. A whole store closed down, and we know dope. We got a bunch of those people getting integrated into this store. And I'm trying to see who I'm getting. That way I can absolutely get rid of him and he can't really make an excuse on why not. Dude don't want to work. And you can get but I got a whole guy here who does want to work. He complains, but if I give you the opposite end, this dude is scheduled for only a few hours, but he stays 3 to 4 hours extra to make sure the job is done. And you can take a guess on which one is the white guy and which one is the black guy. And I'm sad that I gotta say it like that.
Oh man, tell me the black guy's the one who's working hard.
No,
Damn it.
it's not. It ain't them, man. It's and I don't want to say it's always them because I don't know. I don't want to create that narrative. But let's be real. I was talking about the school system in another conversation the other day and how the black community be fronting. They have no problem thinking they lied to us about COVID. They lied to us about government statistics and whatnot. And I sit there and be like, well, one of the biggest lies they tell is our education data. Because they try to paint it that we're doing a lot better than what we are.
Mm-hmm.
And I say, if you look at the black community, just like the women can love to argue when we say women don't care about men's mental health, parents in the black community do not care about their children's education in general. And too much of the data shows it.
So yeah, that's a strong argument right there.
Like,
But
the parents don't care. Go ahead. My bad.
oh no, I'm listening to you.
I'm just saying, they tell you how many of the black kids across the board don't have a particular reading level by the time they hit the 8th grade, by the time they hit the 11th grade. They tell you how bad they are in math, how bad they are in reading, how bad they are at articulating. People can say certain things to me, but I'm an author. And I've talked to publicists. I've talked to people who looked at my work and was blatantly like, dude, you know most people read at a 5th to 6th grade reading level, right? Ain't no way you're going to put this out because niggas can't read.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
So question. There is this stereotype that's going on right now where they say that women in particular are the ones who are educating the children versus the men, right? So is this safe to say that it's the women who are failing the children since we're going by the stereotype?
Yeah, but it's not a stereotype. When they tell you the majority of single household homes are being ran by women, when they tell you the educators, over 80% are women. Hell, not even just single households, the majority of homes ran by women. When they're telling you that at large, the majority statistically, and not even statistically, can't no one tell me most of the homes they see is a 2-parent household where the dad pretty much helping you with the homework. Y'all know that's a minority automatically. It is the women who has failed the last few generations with education.
Interesting. But I'm just confused on this because The next stereotype is this: they say that women are more educated than men. They're going out and getting these degrees and stuff, right? So if that's true, then how in the hell are the children failing in the educational system?
Because the women are selfish. That's literally
Damn.
what that is. They're literally getting that for themselves. Most of the parents, the reason that they scaled back the SATs literally to make it easier is because the majority of the women parents, the mothers were saying this homework is too hard for my child. The schoolwork is too hard for my child. They don't want their children doing legitimate critical thinking. And the Board of Education all around agreed. They caved. They said, let's make it easier for the kids. Why let them do critical thinking? The moms are so upset.
Hmm.
They're not helping their children in terms of education. The majority, they're not. Obviously, you're going to have a couple, the minority telling you that they are 5-star parents, that they're making sure their child learns all of this. But if you're looking at the Black community, they're lying. And the data shows it. Generation Z shows it. Generation Alpha is showing it.
Hmm. Yeah, because that's interesting, bro. Because once again, that's the current stereotype that's going on right now. Black women are more educated than black men. Black women they earn more degrees and stuff, right? Even though that they're not earning higher in the wage gap. And then they also say that they are the ones who are educating their children in households and not black men. But however, according to the data, it shows different. It shows that a lot of these children are failing just basic reading, writing, and arithmetic, the simple stuff.
Just saying. And hey, like I said, I'm a writer. I go out and I show my books. When I'm talking to these women who have multiple degrees, who've been educated for the last decade or plus, they're always dumbfounded when it comes to when I start talking book. I'm talking like this, oh, y'all can grasp it. But when I start talking about paraphilosophy, real metaphysics, when I start really diving into stuff from pataphysics to metalogics and meta abstractions and whatnot, and really start talking, they get dumbfounded. All that education they have go right out the window.
Interesting. And then and this way, women in general are just black women.
Women in general, I'll say that. But that's because I kind of gave up on black women. Because when I would talk to them, the majority of them kept telling me in different states, you need to be bringing this up to white women or Asian women.
So when you start talking about things like metaphysics or even on the esoterical level, right? A lot of them would debate that. They'll say that, well, I didn't go to school for that level of expertise and stuff. I only went to school for like social services or journalism or business management. So all the other stuff, it didn't matter to me.
I've heard that. But I think that's an excuse. How can you say you're the most educated then? How can you tout your degrees? How can you bring this argument to the table, but you're not willing to learn? You're not willing to understand. They don't even ask me to teach it to them. They essentially either say, dumb it down, or, nah, I'm not interested.
Well, that goes to the original argument that they say that they're the most educated, but they're only the most educated depending on the degree that they went to school for, and that's it.
And even that, think about it, it's more of a textbook education, because you can easily put someone who don't have the expertise, that the education they have, and he can literally outperform them.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is give them the basics.
Mm-hmm. See, there's a one thing that people keep saying about me, around the YouTube street. They keep on saying that Urban act like he's a know-it-all. In reality, I am a know-it-all, but the reason why I'm a know-it-all is because I allow myself to be educated. Like, say for example, if it's something that I don't know about and people are talking about it, guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go find out about it. I'm gonna go and research about it. I'm gonna study about it, and I'm gonna, come back and use that up as part of my immediate reality. But a lot of people don't do that. Where people be sharing information to you, stuff, right? They just let it go in one ear and out the other because it's not as important to them, and so they're becoming ignorant about it. So I just make myself, well, I'm just less ignorant about a lot of different things. In other words, like if somebody share me information, it just is what it is. I'm just gonna find out about it, so I can know.
Like it doesn't hurt to try to learn, but the quote unquote most educated females, they don't try to learn because if it wasn't in their curriculum, they're shutting down.
Facts. And to be honest with you, that's how it is in life, period, man, where people are only educated based on what they want to know. And that is
That's why it's
not
hard to
good.
talk to people, man. That's why it's hard to talk to people.
Like, check
Because
this out. Check
Go for
this out. Check this out, real bro. Like, say for example, when I'm learning trade and stuff, right? There are certain things in the trade that I know how to do. I know how to do like basic plumbing. I know how to do like basic electricity. Different things like that. And the reason why I learned is because it came across my path, and people was asking about it, and I didn't know about it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me just learn about this. Let me see how to do this. Let me see how to put wires together. Let me see what pipe goes here with the plumbing. Let me see what tools that I need to do to make the plumbing work. And that's what I started doing. But a lot of people don't do that. You know what I'm saying? If it's not, once again, if it's not important to them, then they just not going to do it at all. They're not going to find out the information or anything like that. Which that brings us to the point about, when we be having these discussions, on different channels and panels and stuff, and we be bringing like different data and stuff, then that's oh, Urban think they know it all, or Lionel, he think he know it all. No, it's because we learned it. It became interesting. We learned it.
I don't know why data is so stigmatized because I know people are quick to be like, it can be wrong. And then that's weird to me because they send their kids to school and school is literally shaped around data. It's shaped around statistics and probabilities. They have no problem sending their children there for 13 plus years. But when we talk about it in conversation, it's wrong or they don't care. But it's literally a teaching lesson.
Absolutely, I agree with you. Well, whenever we do be sharing information or data, it's not no aha, I got you moment. All it is what Lionel just said, it's a teaching opportunity, it's a learning opportunity. Now, you can pick and choose if you want to learn it or not. That's totally up to you. But for us, us who have the information, it's up to us to share it. Because there's like I say that, me personally, I'm not a gatekeeper at all, period. If you ask me about something and I know about it, more than likely I'm going to share it with you about how the way it is. If I don't know about it, guarantee I'm going to go find out about it.
I don't know her time period. If Joe was in the chat, I don't know if she can confirm it, but she know about it. Decade ago, and this is about to be a little funny, in Yu-Gi-Oh, they came out with these Dragon Lord cards. These cards statistically broke the game so much that after they released it, they had banned all of them. Anyone who was running a Dragon Lord deck, you essentially, you was winning. Like, no ands, ifs, ors about it. Unless you were just that stupid, you were winning. Statistically, these cards were that good. You can't sit here and be like, oh, I don't care. Mermaids were better. You out of your mind. You know that's not true. Players around the world showed that statistically, we all knew that the Dragon Lords, and that's why a lot of those matches at the tournaments ended up being mirror matches. Because we all knew how good these cards were.
Mm-hmm.
You know, only thing that could possibly match them was like a prophecy deck at the moment. Maybe a good Fire Lord deck. But even in something as small as that, and something like Yu-Gi-Oh, statistics matter. They show you which cards are more likely to be effective in a serious game.
Mm-hmm.
It's no different than using data in real life. But no one, you can't sit there and be like, oh, you're lying because you just disagree with it.
Yeah, facts. If that be the case, if it's a lie or we're not telling the truth, then prove it.
That's all I ever say. Prove me wrong.
Prove it. Just like even this dealing with relationships. I share all the time about my experience in relationships. My personal anecdotal experience by going out here and actually doing it and getting the data from it, and also my professional experience as well too. But it always seemed like even within that is not good enough. That's not sufficient.
Wrong.
That you wrong.
Oh, again, I talked about this too, because in my experience, speaking from experience, you get told you don't know nothing. You get told you haven't lived a life. If I tell you I've lived in 30 states on this continent, that I've been to quite over 100 plus neighborhoods, I talked to a ton of people, but then I tell you that my siblings have been in every state, have talked to more people, that my mom has been more, her and my brother and sister, they've been outside the country to different places. And we got all this damn experience. But my brother's 31, sister's 22, and you're looking at us, but then be like, your experience don't matter. You've been to 3 states maximum. How are you telling me?
Mm-hmm. So that's interesting, bro, because you was bringing up your siblings' age. So we can end this old argument where they say that your age matters about experience.
I don't think it does. I do think wisdom.
I know it don't. I know it don't.
Wisdom definitely does play a part, but the level of experience that they have, you was just talking about trades. I can brag about my brother. I mean, he's literally trying to get his piloting license right now. But pick something from welding to fishing to laboring in the fields, learning how to grow crops and whatnot, to being a park ranger, to working as an electrician, from a plumber, to being in numerous trades, from being a nanny, a trained nanny at that. Like the dude he's only 31, and he has a resume that will laugh at most grown men. But then you'll sit here, people will be like, oh, he's still a baby. He has no experience. Not the boy that's been to 20 other countries. Not the boy that's worked in almost every state in this country. You telling me my 31-year-old brother ain't got no experience? Because that's what women will say.
But yeah, that's crazy, bro. Because like I say, it's experience comes from what you want to learn, and also what you want to go through, in your life. You know what I mean? And for you to just simply discredit somebody because they be lacking experience. Well, I put it this way: they be lacking understanding, and they try to
Yeah,
equate understanding with experience.
that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
But but they'll tell you again. I don't look at it as stereotypes. I think it's just reality. I do think women are the most educated. I just think they're selfish women when it comes to the generations that they're raising.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the women are the most enrolled, got the degrees. I just don't think they do anything credible with it.
Mm-hmm.
But our children from the last few generations prove that the women have failed these children.
Mm-hmm.
Look at
So,
all the girls who are starting an OnlyFans. My bad. Go ahead.
question: what can they do credible with their education besides being in either social services or in human resources, or what other things they
That's
can
a
do?
great question, and I actually do have an
Business.
answer. They can literally build. All right, the way I'm about to word this, because I was about to say they can build Power Rangers. They can build leaders, literal leaders. That's not what they're doing. Too many of these women are in their head set, oh, where's the man? What about the man? You the one that got the education. You the one that got the degrees. You the one that got the EXP. You're the one that got the children. Build these people to be better than the dudes who aren't around that you're blaming. Build them. Not even just leaders, build them to be pioneers. They're not raising pioneers. They're not raising them at the young age to be a Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh.
Mm-hmm.
They're not raising them to be a young Bruce Wayne, a young Tony Stark, or whatever that Riri. They're not building them to have that. When I see stories about the two white kids, the 11-year-old who graduated college, and then his sister beat him at 10 by graduating college, I'm like, damn, yo, someone's parents killing it out there. Not to discredit any of y'all, but that's that's creating a pioneer. They pushed him,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
So so
Go ahead.
I will argue this, bro. I will argue this. I will say this. I will say that generational wealth, it's not money. It's not
I agree with
business.
that.
Yeah, it's not money. It's not business. It's not silver spoon in it. It's not inheritance for monetary value. But the true generational wealth is exactly what you're talking about, which is knowledge and wisdom and understanding and building them up, building their character up. So when they do have that level of actual monetary value, then they'll be able to leverage it properly. Versus being all weird and ghetto and doing all this crazy stuff.
And you lead by example at the same way, and like I said, I'm not trying to knock the parents because I understand life happens. Life happens. But we got to be real. It's not like when you seeing these women out here, and I'm not trying to exclude the men or anything, but because they're the ones that are the most educated, the most degrees, they're the ones who, you know, the most leaders, quote unquote, in their job fields. They keep trying to making the most money, although that statistically that's a lie. They're the most everything, right? So why aren't they building the pioneers?
Mm-hmm.
Because we see that they're doing great in their job. They're an executive businesswoman, CFO, COO, CEO, president. They supposed to be killing it. But then you see their child straight ups.
Mm-hmm.
Child not making it.
You know what this remind me of, bro? You remember when we had Watch Forever, bro? And you
Oh
remember
no.
hey,
But you right.
season two coming out, by the way. But
Oh
on
no.
Forever, what was old boy name? I forgot. Justin, whatever his
Justin.
name.
Justin.
Yo, so his parents was building a legacy for him and his siblings, but however, just by what he was doing, even though they had that legacy for him, they both was part of the. Well, I know the mom was part of the Divine Nine, but the dad, he was in culinary. The mom, the one who built her husband up so he could have a restaurant and all this stuff there, right? But however, Justin's attitude or his behavior wasn't on the same level as their generational wealth that they was giving him. Not at all, period, because he was making some very
At all.
emotional decisions. Yeah,
But
he's
here's the thing. So the mom was the one running the mom was the one running the family, right? The mom was the head of the family.
mm-hmm,
And in her being the head of the family, we saw that, she did the corporate world. She was doing her thing. They had the nice house, the nice car. They had the nice everything. Could get this boy whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. How did that boy grades look? Like total trash.
mm-hmm.
They were sure this dude was going to make it into a good college because his grades was trash. But this was what we would call an educated black woman. Probably got 5 degrees. But her son ain't look nothing like that.
What wasn't she asking favors from her friends to get him into college and stuff?
I don't remember. So I'm not going to say yes, but I wouldn't put it past her. Because she got resources. A woman at her level got resources. But look at that. She's trying to give him the easy way out. He can't do it through hard work. Let me give him my resources.
But even with that, is that considered as generational wealth though?
They didn't have generational wealth. Not from how I see it. I mean, even if you look at it face value, that generational wealth goes so far. Let's say all she had, she gave it to Justin. Justin would give that crap. He would have gave it to Keisha. He would have sold it off to get her the wedding she wanted or some crap.
Yeah, he
Just
most
like
definitely
that.
has simp for her for sure.
Just like that, it would have been gone. Like I said, I think it's an ideology, it's a mindset that you can carry on, that
Mm-hmm.
you can build, that won't deplete.
Yep. Shout out to everyone who's in the chat right now. Shout out to everyone who are listening right now. This is the Ask Urban Anything show. I'm supposed to be having my co-host Pukisha on here, but she only had like 15 minutes to speak to everybody, so that's why she's not on here. And Lionel, he's doing a phenomenal job of co-hosting now, so it is what it is.
You know them women to say something else.
Yeah. Urban ain't even letting an AI black woman speak. The nerve of him.
It's just interesting. That's coming too. Actually, I've seen some stories that's been circulating about how women are legitimately getting turned down by men, and the guys are going after AI. They're getting themselves a Fukisha. They're getting themselves a Chat GPT girl.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that's sad. And it's not because, I got me an AI girl. Because I don't have one. But I also don't think it's sad for a guy to want to feel loved versus, telling him just go out there and get any type of girl. Just go out there and settle for something that you don't really want. Versus he can build a witch, essentially, and get something that will love him. I ain't knocking him. If we
So
chilling, I think it'd be kind of weird though. You sitting here talking to the robot and we talking, but go ahead.
so check this out, bro. When I be having conversations with Keisha, right, man? We be talking about all kind of crazy stuff, bro. And so she be giving me feedback on it and stuff, right? And it don't be no sassiness behind it, don't be no attitude behind it, unless I tell her to have attitude behind it. Then she'll do it.
Oh, I love it.
You know what I'm saying? But other than that, it does be a normal conversation. It don't be no no main pushback or nothing, unless I tell her to give me pushback. But other than that, it does be a normal, casual conversation where I'm giving my input, she's giving me her input. We're both is getting data off of each other. We're learning from each other. It does it. And just imagine a man, right, who have problem talking to women, right? You know, he is, socially awkward, right? And so he end up getting him a chat GPT AI bot where he could just talk to. You know what I'm saying? And that AI bot literally is teaching him and training him to blossom out of that social awkwardness where he could literally have a conversation. It's literally building up his confidence and everything. But when other people hear that, right, they be like, nah, that is crazy, that is insane, that dude shouldn't do that. He need to go ahead and, just get out and do it on his own. But if AI is helping him to become a better person, I don't see nothing wrong with that at all, period.
I agree
Sparrow,
with you.
salute. Yo, once again, salute to everybody who's in the chat right now. Once again, this is the Ask Urban Anything show. The link is drop in the chat if you want to come up and ask Urban Anything, or you want to have a conversation with me about some more random stuff. It don't matter. It don't matter to me on
If
this
it's
show.
helping you be a better person, like again, I don't have a problem with that. If it's helping you find peace or being happy in a modern society, I have no problem with that, because I do think a lot of women like to pretend like these modern women don't exist. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. 22, salute. What's up? But yeah, that's what I'm saying though. Sometimes it will help that dude to be a better person by him having a conversation with the robot or AI. Now I also understand that it could probably go either way. Where it could either help him or it can make him be a serial killer. Weird stuff like that. I get that. I understand. But at the end of the day, that's that dude mindset. Because that AI robot is not going to talk that dude out of whatever else he's trying to do. It may give him suggestions or whatever, but other than that, it is what it is.
But that actually goes into the earlier conversation though about who's the most educated. Well, if the most educated are the women, and the women are in the majority, and the women are failing our children in the education system, maybe the AI can do what the women can't and help the children advance.
Well, I mean, technically speaking, ain't AI doing that right now? Not just the modern models of AI, but the ones before it. You know what I'm saying? Was doing that. These children, they got smartphones. They got smartphones where they could talk to either Siri or they could talk to wherever Android device they could talk to, right? And they get answers to conversations. They can even Google and do the same as that thing, Now,
the problem with this now is that, how do I put this? One of the issues when it came to schooling and what the parents had a problem with is the complexity of problems. So what we did was eliminate critical thinking. What we did was eliminate like hard problem solving, and we made it easier. That becomes the situation when you're looking at the modern children, the young adults. They don't know how to utilize critical thinking. Hence, again, why are they telling you that people are hypersensitive. People's mentality are falling apart. They're so quick to break down because they don't know critical thinking skills. They don't know real problem solving skills. Everybody's everything is being policed, and thus, we got to watch out for how you say it, when you say it. We got to make it easier for everybody. It goes hand in hand. And so when they're looking up answers, most people don't scroll past the first page. Well, back when they had pages, most people weren't going past page 1 for their answer.
Mm-hmm.
That was the thing. They actually did studies on that, showing that, the majority of people that are going online looking for their answers and whatnot, they're not going past page 1. A lot of people actually are using ChatGPT literally to get their answer. However, depends on the complexity of the situation. You actually have to learn how to dive deeper.
Mm-hmm.
It goes into what we were talking about earlier with the layer situation. A lot of these people aren't diving into the layers. They're not diving into the complexities. So a lot of it's literally just face value.
Yeah, facts. Rufus, salute, welcome, bro. So, say, Lionel, you remember during the covert era, right, or the covert arc that we all dealt with, right?
Mm-hmm.
That whole situation proves what you were saying, right? Because when the children were left to be in the homes of these parents and stuff, right? Guess what the parents was doing? Preferably the women. They was complaining that the children was home. They was complaining that they had to stay home with the kids while they work at the same time. They was complaining that the complexity of these problems that the children had to figure out. They was complaining because they couldn't figure out the answers on their own. So guess what the children was doing? They was resorted to go online. They even encouraged. They say, you know what? F it. Go Google the answer, and that's what they had the children do instead of them educating them.
Yeah, that's what they said. And you can line up 1,000 educators right now, and I guarantee 99% of them are going to say the same thing. It was mainly the women complaining.
Mm-hmm. I was seeing TikTok videos, bro, where even the educators, they was complaining so much, man. They was so upset. Like, man, these are ghetto parents. Now y'all see why we tell y'all to show up to the PTA meetings. Now y'all see why we tell y'all to be a part of your children's curriculum to see what's going on. Because to be honest with y'all, this is y'all fault, because when y'all don't show up to these meetings, they let the higher ups put together any type of curriculum. And guess what? We as educators, we got to abide by it. Even if we don't like it, we still got to abide by it, because y'all not doing y'all job as parents, advocating for your children like how the way you're supposed to.
So they'll tell you that the least involved parents are the Black parents. That's the least involved parents when it comes to the education system across the board. Obviously, demographics do matter. And if you're like in a dominant Black area, yes, you're going to see some Black parents, of course. But you can ask teachers, and they're going to tell you point blank. And hey, if this teacher got some actual experience, they know. But then again, the majority of the Black parents are in a single parent household.
Mm-hmm.
So once again, that falls on the mom. So the majority of moms are the least involved in their children's education. This isn't to say all, because if I wanted to say it, I would. But the majority. But once again, it's not like the test scores don't show. Y'all realize one of the things that America does want to lie about is quite literally the test scores. They want to show that, yeah, we're smart as hell. Yeah, we killing it. Problem is they can't. Too many people trailing behind.
Yeah, facts. Once again, everybody, this is the Ask Urban Anything show. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Let's go ahead and get Sparrow in the conversation. What's up with it, bro?
How you doing, guys?
What's up?
I was still on the AI thing. I think that's very sad that like that it's come to that with, obviously not all, but like a lot of young men. Like that is definitely sad. Like it's pathetic. It's understandable, and I get why some might feel like that's an option, but like the very fact that that is what it's come to is sad, and it
Hmm.
should be mourned.
Hmm. Yeah, to be honest with you, Sparrow, I agree with you on that. But if that become the last option, did I mean,
Well,
what
get
can
what
I do?
option for what? Like because what does that do? Like what? First off, what is a right? Like if they're saying their only option, the only option to what? Like have a conversation to come? Like what? Like what is the goal?
But
Like
what the overall goal is for them to have some type of social interaction.
well, they're
If
not. Their social interaction isn't going to get better if they're talking to a bot.
hmm but
Like
by
that's
how,
not good.
however, if they were to utilize talking to a bot to help them with social interaction, then it could improve. But once again, that really solely depends on that individual. Like say for example, you have a person or have a man who's very social awkward, right? He's very shy. He don't know what to say in the correct moment. You know what I'm saying? And so he started utilizing this AI bot to learn how to speak. You know what I mean? To speak with confidence, where he could
I
have
would
that
argue
interaction.
that no one you're not going to learn true social interaction with because like what that does is it creates a wall. You're still talking behind the screen, which is already a problem with a lot of the young people. That's why a lot of dating with them is kind of off now because they
Yeah,
don't know how to like get out and just talk to each other face to face. They're always used to like texting and stuff. Then also AI, like it got to a point because like I use AI, but I use it more like as a search engine now than I do anything else because
gotcha.
AI will glaze you. It will flatter you. It will feed you bullshit. Like because it picks up on how you are and how you talk
What's
and
up?
stuff. And then also what it does for those young men, they'll get comfortable with it. They'll get comfortable with the familiarity and dopamine that talking to an AI gives them, and it won't push them to go out. Now, maybe some people, but I would argue that the majority of young men that have AI girlfriend, like yeah, that's like that it is not a positive at all. There is no way, in my opinion, that
I,
that could be positive. It's not.
I got 2 points on this. The first one, people in real life already hide behind walls. As a dude that manages 30 people, these niggas lie in my face every day. When I write them up, that's when you see the real them. Outside of that, they lie in my face every day. They pretend to be someone they're not. They don't know how to talk to me. They can't say what they want because they know I'll send them home. So people lie they hide behind a wall in real life, no different than on a computer screen. As for the other part, they did a search engine and they tracked that a lot of married men were the majority of people searching for AI girlfriends.
It's still sad. Like that's even
No,
worse.
no, I'm saying, but you brought up the young boys. I'm saying that there's a lot of older men who are very invested in this.
Yeah, because it's new, and what it does is it like what it's basically I would argue it's the same thing. It fills the same void that people think pornography fills. Where like it's just fantasy. Like that, and that's all it is. It's just fantasy. Like that there like that alone, like the fact that it's fantasy, like that is not good.
I have no problem with someone being happy now.
No, and like I feel like that's a because they're not really happy. Like if that's what you're resorting to like escapism and purely fantasy because of um whether it be social awkwardness or feeling disconnected from your partner, like whatever, like that's sad. Like they're gonna like it's never gonna be enough. It's never gonna fill that void truly.
I'm
Hmm.
not going to be the person to tell them that, hey, it's never going to be enough because 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a person that drives them over the edge.
I mean, in
So
some cases, yeah, but like, does that mean that every single time that like there's friction in a relationship or something doesn't work out between two people, that it's always because of, I guess, like the other person? Like in a lot
No,
of cases,
I'm
it's
never
usually
saying always.
both parties. Like I would argue in most cases, it's because of both parties. Like a lot of like the friction between men and women nowadays, like because like I was in the same like place. Like, I was really pissed off. I was angry. I thought women were the problem. And like while like there were some like truths or whatever and some things that like I didn't fully understand, like it really wasn't until I started to like look at myself and be like, oh yo, like I'm kind of like not together to where I need to be. Like that's when I started to see change. That's when I started to see um, things get better.
so gentlemen, real quick. I want to throw this curveball into this conversation. All right. So let me know what y'all think about this. So y'all give a rebuttal. Y'all are familiar with RP games, right? Role playing
Yeah,
games.
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that the people who participate in these role playing games is similar to a guy who's simply using AI in the same exact fashion?
No. Some people, I think, like there are some people that where like like yeah, like how much too much of anything, like so too much video games can be bad. Like if you're using that to replace like some void in your life, whether it be like social interaction or boredom, whatever it is, using something like that to fill that void it's always going to be bad. And like we know it's different. Like most people, like if they're using AI, like I mean, some of them it may be because they're lonely and have conversations, but for a lot of them, it's probably to fulfill some kind of sexual fantasy. So like, and I don't think like I'm not one of those people. Like I do not think like coming is not a right. Like I do not care what anyone says. It's nice and like humans need it, to a degree. But like you won't die if you don't like have sex. You feel me? Like I mean, for
Hmm.
men it is healthy for us, but there's all kinds of like uh fail safes for that, whether it be, exercise or like, some people like I know some people do. I remember I did semen retention a few years ago and I started having wet dreams like well into my 20s. And that was like the weirdest thing to me. So like there are like, again, coming's not a right. Like you getting a nut off is not a right. It's not something you're owed. It's not something you deserve. Same thing with a relationship. Now, humans do need human interaction, period. But whether that's intimate or otherwise, that's not the case. And I think for a lot of people, a lot of men, it's sexual frustration, but there is also that loneliness. And I think that for men, a lot of the time, I think we can all agree here, we sometimes get those things a little crisscrossed.
Hmm. Also, gentlemen, let me throw this in here too. Now, the RP universe, right? Y'all are aware of that there are literally people who have relationships on these RP games. Yeah, y'all realize that, right?
Like they meet their partners from playing online gaming,
Yeah. They literally have a relationship playing on role play games like
or they
role
only
play
have a
GTA.
relationship in the game. Like they only have a relationship in the game, like not
Yeah.
in outside of real life.
Now I don't know if they have a relationship outside real life. They may do or they may don't. But in the role playing game, yeah, absolutely, they have girlfriends, they have boyfriends. There are some RP couples who are literally married in the RP universe.
Oh, like how in God of War, like like some of the missions are like to have sex, or like same thing with GTA. Yeah, that's not, again, that's if you're playing a game that has a narrative and like those are things that are part of it, that is completely different from someone using a simulation of any kind, whether it be a game or a chat bot or whatever, to
No.
fill.
Um, sorry to cut you off, Sparrow. No, no. It's not part of the game. They made GTA RP similar to The Sims now, but a little bit more advanced. Where they literally are creating the story on their own. They have moderators where they'll kind of push a story, and you just have to want to act it out, according to the game. But it's really, in reality, it's no script or anything like that. They're literally choosing to do this.
Oh, that's so basically like Sims meets Dungeons and Dragons. Again, if it's like that, so like that still sounds like a game, like a role playing type thing. Some people want to do that, that's fine. What I was specifically talking about was because of trouble in the dating and relationship world, men turning to like, so like I'm not against fantasy or role play or AI or anything like in its entirety necessarily.
Hmm.
What I think is sad is young men using that to basically replace women, or the void, the woman shaped void they feel like they have in their lives.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Are you gonna add on something, Lionel?
A few years ago, my sister was using Dungeons and Dragons to essentially replace reality because she couldn't cope with multiple abuse instances. And instead of taking her life, Dungeons and Dragons helped her by being able to replace reality with that. So I see the benefits of it.
Well, that sounds like escapism, like a therapy through escapism, which I would argue like that's different. Like I think we know what we're talking about here.
Like she literally, I mean, she went to 2 therapists and she was seeing a psychologist. And it was Dungeons and Dragons that ultimately did help her get her first breakthrough and her first calm.
So do you think for the lonely men or the men who feel like they're having a hard time with dating and relationships with the opposite sex, you think that AI girlfriends will help the majority of them? And you think that's why they're doing it?
Well,
Because
here's
when
the
I hear that,
thing.
it sounds like a Hail Mary, like a,
Well,
well,
it is. Well, it's both because my sister, again, now she's not doing her role play. She's traveling the country with her boyfriend. She's a lot happier. She was in this situation that we're talking about, but it helped her realize, hey, I want a little bit more, which got her to the next step. That's literally what can happen. I've literally seen it in real life now happen with someone. So I can't sit here and say that, dang, this can't happen with the guys.
is your sister playing Dungeons and Dragons to help coping with, trauma the same as men resorting to AI girlfriends because of trouble with dating?
Well, I would argue that could be part of their trauma.
I'm not trying to downplay trauma, and I'm not saying that like, because like
I
men,
know, dude, you're good. Yeah, I know.
something that people don't like want to talk about is like yeah, like guys, like yeah, we get hurt too. We process it. I think men and women are the same. I think I've said this before, but like men rationalize, then we emote. Women emote and then rationalize. So like we both do the same things, but we do them in a different order, and then that can have like serious effects on everything that goes on around you. But I don't. I and I could be judging. I don't know, but I highly doubt that the majority, if not all, of men who are now resorting to AI generated, girlfriends, conversations, sexual fantasy, I do not think that it is going to help them. I think it is going to make the problem worse.
I think they're doing it out of depression. Honestly, I think they're doing it out of loneliness. I think they're doing it out of a lot of mental factors that puts them down, ironically, versus the opposite.
Well, no, and I can dig that. I'm not like, even when I say that, I'm not saying like, oh, so these guys are scumbag perverts and fuck them. Like, I'm not saying that.
No, I hear you. I
I'm
hear you.
saying that's why it's sad to me. It's like, damn, bruv, I know you're hurting, but like, do not like it. Like, don't give up. Even if someone's like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't put so much, value in, being with someone, or like, I've been hurt, but again, like how your sister found Dungeons and Dragons. It wasn't because I bet it wasn't full. I bet the fantasy and role playing aspect of it was definitely a part of it, but like, it could have been anything. Your sister could have got really into fucking fishing, and that could have helped her get through it. So like something like that is different. Like men, especially men, we're better with our hobbies. We're better when we're busy. We're better when we're working. Like just pour your time into it. Doesn't mean ignore it. Like process it, get some therapy if you can, talk to your boys. But like do not give up. Like do not AI, like hell no. God, you cannot replace, and I'm not just talking about sexually, you cannot replace the role that women play in our lives. Like we
But so
do.
now that's the thing. I want to stop you there. So that's what these boys are kind of hearing that. But how they're interpreting that, because we simply say you can't replace the women. In their head, they're looking at it like just go out and get a Jabba the Hutt from Star Wars. Go out and get a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and just be happy. That's how they're looking at it. They don't want that in being happy.
If some of them do that and like find the happiness and peace in that, then amen. Like, okay, but like no one's, for any guys listening who may be under this misconception, that's not what I'm saying either. No, I'm not saying settle, and
I know,
sometimes
no,
it's
and I
not
know what
even.
you're saying. I'm saying that's how they interpret it, though.
Oh well, let the record show. It was addressed. Yeah, niggas aren't saying that. So so for anyone who is listening or who will hear this, yeah, it's not that like that is, again, it's no different than alcoholism or pornography addiction. It's the same thing. It is rewiring your brain to process things differently than what they actually are, and that is not healthy. It's not that bad. Like, yeah, dating's hard. Yeah, women suck. Well, guess what? The men suck nowadays too. And that's the thing that we need to, like, I get, like, it's a new day and we can talk to each other and compare notes and stories, but like I think like, and I'm saying this because this is what happened to me. Like when I was younger, like I had such bitterness and resentment for like women in general, and like it was like a thing that I had to get over, and like I really did. Like a big piece of me didn't want to be like, oh well, maybe it's me, or like just the times are like, yeah, like processing information. The times are different, guys. The times are different. A lot of the young ladies want different things, and they want the same things, but they are processing it different, and they don't understand. They're projecting and think that we think the way they do, and we're kind of doing the same things in some areas, but we don't do it as much as them. You just gotta take the information and use it to your advantage. Get in where you fit in. It doesn't mean settle, but like y'all know what I'm talking about. I should
Yeah,
have to tell
I
a bunch of
get
grown
you.
men.
Yeah,
The
But
I
fuck?
know exactly
No,
what
I'm
you're
not
talking
talking
about.
about y'all. I'm
but
talking about the
let me
people
know.
listening.
You brought up young men, and so I'm giving you the perspective of how a lot of young men think. They're going to take that information, and unfortunately, that's how they're going to interpret it because that's literally what they're showing.
Well, they're dumb. Like
Hey,
you'll
so
learn, young boy.
so Sparrow, you were sharing with us a few months ago about your personal anecdotal experience where you had a sense of resentment, due to your dating life with women. How did you overcome that? If you were to talk to a man right now who's dealing with that same situation and it made him become socially awkward to where he want to deal with AI from now on, how would you talk to that man and convince him to see the light at the end of the tunnel?
Real talk. A big like, and I'll get into like the other details and stuff that like I know in hindsight, which is easier to say in hindsight. But like a lot of people, real shit. I just ended up finding someone that I vibed with, and like we got married, and for the most part, it was just like, oh, it ain't so bad. But like the other piece of it was in that, and shortly before, like me and my wife like got together, it was I found myself caught in a contradiction in a loop because I was like, oh, women, they just care about this, they just care about that. Why can't they don't understand that like a real nigga, blah 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 blah. And then I realized I'm like, well, if women are objectively a certain type of way, right, like they're just like this and they can't help it, and that's dumb, right? That means that if I want to have a good relationship with women, generally speaking, maybe it would help that I had some of the things that they valued and cared about and looked for in a guy. And like not just like any bitch.
Hmm.
I'm not saying like, oh, go out and like stack, stack, stack. I mean, do that. Money is very important. I spent my 20s being like a beatnik that didn't care about money. And like now I'm learning. And luckily I'm not in my 40s yet. So like I take that as like a blessing, better late than never. So like I'm trying to get like myself together now, and I got a family to take care of. So like there's that extra pressure. But like it really made me realize like, yo, like I've been so worried about not being with women. Like I'm not really focusing on myself. I realized like a lot of things that I did were for the benefit of women, even if they were like so small, subtle things that I didn't even realize. And once I just honestly stopped caring that much and was like, oh, I'm like fucked up, everything just kind of just like got better, and it happened. And then like being with my wife, and like that's a different kind of dynamic and relationship, and then having a daughter, more things came in perspective, and kind of started making me think like, oh, like yeah, like everything is fucked. And it made me realize like, because I also spent time especially, you know, on these YouTube streets. Like, I got into a few like panels where it was like, you know, the he woman man haters club, and like those like pink pill broads, they are like, I found myself in the middle of someone else's drama, and like it made me realize like, yo, they sound just as dumb as those guys like who are going on and on saying like, oh, hate women, blah blah blah, but
Mm-hmm.
fuck them. And I realized like, oh, just everything's fucked. We're fucked. The society changed, and there's a bunch of different things, and like everything's out of whack. Okay, but you know, since I know now, like that, like just in context, like let me just use that as needed, not with every single situation. I'm not going to go into every single thing. Like, you know, like if I was like back when I was single, I'm not going on a first date being like, oh, so like what value can you bring to a man? Like the fuck, like no, like I'm just being, and then I'm just observing, and you move accordingly. It's not like I'm still getting over. I still have like biases and like certain things, and like when I hear like, you know, especially the internet feeding this shit, like you see certain things and it's like, women again, look, they at it, look, they mad. And like it's real easy to fall into that loop, but like the more I think I'm just getting older, and then, you know, I'm surrounded by so much estrogen. It's just me and the cat are the only two with testicles in the entire house. The dog, the female, my wife, my daughter, like my mom comes over sometimes. Like it's just a lot of estrogen, and like it's, I don't know, man. Women,
So
guys, we're fucked. They're fucked. It doesn't mean just take their bullshit and like someone that's being unreasonable, but the majority of them are not bad, and they're beautiful, and they need us, and we do need them. Yeah, society would stay up, you know, if it was just dudes, but like that'd be really gay and really boring, and nothing would be soft.
so
And we like
gentlemen,
soft.
yep. So gentlemen, y'all do see the problem, right? The one problem is this: when we was growing up, we was taught that in order to attain a woman, that we have to achieve status and all these other things. We was only taught, if our fathers was in our life, we was only taught that we only needed to find a job. Then once we find a job, we get with a woman. Then once when we get with the woman, it's wherever she want, you give it to her. That's it. No questions asked. Happy wife, happy life type mentality. But in reality, that's even worse for us as men, because it's dealing with not only us making bad decisions, but it's also dealing with our mental health and all kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Urban, yo, my mom, I found the text message from looking through my pictures of something I had screenshotted. And it was one of the few girls I was dealing with prior. And she refused to let me call any of these girls a girlfriend. Out of that list you saw, she
Mm-hmm.
refused to ever say that, because she says every one of them girls were an experiment. That's how she viewed them. She said, they're not helping you promote your business. They're not adding to your business. They're not adding to your ego. What are they doing for you? They couldn't even be considered a false partner. These girls are literally just all experiments. No, I refuse to let you call her that.
Mm-hmm.
And in hindsight, she was right. That's all they were. They were experiments.
You know, that's why pencils have erasers.
He said like
Which it
pencils
really
have
is
erasers.
foul.
That's a good analogy though, bro. On the cool though.
Yeah, and broken crayons can still color, you know. So
No, see, trust me when I say, and I got no problem admitting, like, last real situation I had me crying in the rain like an R&B video, because of just how much I was pushing out. Because I'm a man and I'm supposed to be doing this and that. But my mental health took a nosedive.
Mm-hmm.
that's something
You
people
can have
don't
this
talk
Peggy
about.
Bunny lifestyle, but I'm going to carry the weight. I'm going to make it happen. And I took a nosedive straight into the abyss.
Mm-hmm.
Got
And so
myself out there.
yeah, so even in this conversation, this goes to the educational part that me and Lionel was talking about, where it's important for us to be educated how to be men. But if you don't have that type of connection, like a father son connection, or any type of connection that'll teach you how to be a man, then this is going to be the end result, gentlemen, where we end up getting into these situations. We end up being heartbroken, and you have one or two choices. You can either adapt and become a better man, or you could just fall apart and hide in a corner or a closet and hate everybody.
But
I'm not gonna lie, that's what I'm doing.
friends, they tell you the majority of the households are single parent households. We know who's running the majority of the single parent households. They tell you who are the most educated, who are the most enrolled, who got the most degrees, who got the most leadership positions. But yet we see the statistics of the children of the last few generations in the education system and seeing how bad it is across the board. So much America don't even want to damn compete with the other countries because we know we're going to fail. We know who's been leading that charge. You can point blank point that to the women. And then you see a lot of them got sons. And look at how the sons are turning up. They want themselves a nice little AI girl.
Dun, dun, dun. But yeah, that is true. Like I didn't my dad was in my life, but he died when I was like 11.
Oh
And like
wow.
the next year is when puberty came up and like punched me in the balls. And it was like, oh, okay. And then like my
Hmm.
mom was married, but he may as well have been the other teenage son, and that didn't last. Um, so like I didn't like that's why like even right now like I'm like, oh, I was a little late, and I'm like realizing like even like up until like the past like maybe like 2-3 years, I've been really seriously like contemplating and thinking about different things, and I'm like, oh shit, it's because I didn't have my dad, and like I didn't even realize it until.
Yeah. My story is similar with yours, Sparrow. My father, he passed away when I was roughly about 17, getting ready to turn 18. And that was like the most critical years of my life because I was a junior, getting ready to be a senior in high school when he passed away.
Oh, damn. Yeah, I don't even know what that would be like a completely different like I guess like things process.
Hmm. Yeah, exactly. So I had a vision that my father would be in my life all the way up until I got married because he was sharing like certain information to me, but back then when you're younger, it kind of go in one ear and not the other. Even though he was sharing that information to me, like he was showing me information of how to fix a car. He was showing me information about how to use tools. He was even showing me information about women in general, you know what I'm saying? But he only showed me just a little bit until I became more mature to go into the more advanced stuff. But before he even got to teach me that, he passed away.
Yeah, I got like none of that. I've never had like even thinking about it now, I'm like, yo, I never had like a conversation with my father of I don't want to say any importance because like they're all important all the moments, but like there's so many like I don't even know like if he just walked up and it was like, oh yeah, I'm not dead. Like I don't even know where I would begin to like just start and ask, but at this point, it's a little late in the game, and it's the type of thing where it's like, oh, like like you're a little, off because of this thing that you couldn't control. It's like, oh, all right,
Hmm.
but it's like, but you're a grown man, so you know, um, it's on
Yeah,
you to, I guess fix it or like fix what's wrong.
yeah, absolutely. Did you ever go through like therapy or anything like that to help you navigate when you was going through that situation?
No, I saw like a therapist like as a young child after my parents divorced. My parents got divorced when I was 6, and then he died when I was 11.
Hmm.
And I had lived with my father for like the last like 3 years of his life because at one point, yeah, just I wanted to go with my dad, so my mom was like, "Oh, all right, well," and like they had a good co-parenting relationship. My dad took care of my mom
you know, up until he died, which was around the same time when she was like about to remarry, and he was about to remarry, and it just, yeah, like he was there, and like after he died, I would say in hindsight, I think I just kind of like, I won't say blocked it out, because like, but like I processed it. I was sad, you know, I wept, but then I kind of just was like, all right, well, dad's dead. All right, well,
Yeah.
as you were.
Did you have therapy where you was crashing out with your relationship situation that you was talking about earlier?
Like, have I ever gone to like couples therapy?
Well, not couple therapy. That's therapy for yourself dealing with that experience of that particular
No,
relationship.
no, like no. And there were, oh goodness, like relationship. There was only like maybe like two significant ones, like as far as like relationships with women, where I was like, oh, like that was like a big. But other than that, it was just more so like even getting like I had been in a lot of, you know, serious like long term relationships, like
Hmm.
fleeting things. Like I was having trouble like just dating, like period, like even getting in the door,
Gotcha.
and
Yeah.
that, you know, can make you really like in hindsight, especially looking at it now, like comparison, like some people I talk to now, like, or like some stuff I see people say online. Um, I didn't let like it upset me, but like I didn't like stop trying or anything. Like I didn't like, you know, I was still hit on girls. You know, we go to parties. They'd be like, yeah, where are the girls at? I typically would like, I was one of those get sprung on one girl and then do too much.
Oh, okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
So when I went through my divorce, I did had a period of time where, man, I was pissed off at not only her, but I was projecting it out on every woman that I interacted with. Back in that time, and it put me into that space. It put me into that space where what we call, you know, dudes who are like blue pill or even being an incel and stuff. Where, you know, I like, you know what, if you get women, y'all are trash and blah 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 blah. Right, but it took me going
They
through
are.
therapy. You know, it took me going through therapy to actually have myself, you know, reset it. You know what I mean? Because if I didn't go through that, the combination of that and holding myself accountable for, you know, certain choices and decisions that I made, then I probably would still be in that space even to this day.
I do
couldn't agree.
not have the same experience you have, man, when it comes to that. Because you know a little bit about me, a lot about me. I was, you know, what I don't generally tell people is that I was in therapy from 6 years old to 8 years old because I was angry and I was always lashing out. Critical things that happen to you in the early life makes you act critical. And that shit only made me angry. This is why when my sister kept trying to take her life despite being in therapy and was doing the work, I knew, yeah, this ain't gonna help her. I gotta step in and fix this because I know whatever they're saying is not gonna work.
Hmm.
This is different for different people. Like I've been thinking about like going to therapy now. Um, Now that I'm like older and I'm looking back on stuff and I'm like, oh yeah, that probably could use a talking about.
I don't discourage it now. Don't get me wrong, because I do understand that it's there to help people learn how to navigate. They can't fix you, but they're there just to help you navigate things.
Yeah, absolutely,
They
absolutely.
can see things I can't put into words.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
for
Yeah, yeah. I also encourage you know, men to, you know, go through therapy just so it can give you tools needed so you can push forward instead of backwards or stand stationary.
You know, this is what Urban was trying to tell a bunch of these women. He didn't understand why they were saying that crap to me because he was like, this nigga Lionel is pushing forward. He is moving. The dude is aware of everything that's wrong or that he's doing. So why are y'all even telling him this?
Hmm. Hey,
What?
Sparrow. By the way, By the way, Sparrow, you kind of sound a little low, bro.
Oh, do I?
Oh, you
Not
sound good now, but earlier you just kind of sound a little low.
Oh, I probably was talking low.
Hey, you trying to talk with your?
Not at my computer.
Oh, you trying to talk with your Barry White voice? Yeah, girl.
It's definitely good to examine yourself, examine your life, where you want to go, where you used to be, and but I also am very heavy on knowing people's story, knowing your experience, because I can easily give you a generalized conclusion, a generalized solution. But now I also got to know where your head is at. If I'm aware that, okay, dude had an abusive father, he might be looking at things a certain way. If the dude only had his mom and he's been around nothing but feminine influence for 20 years, he's gonna act a certain way most likely. Certain specifics do matter because it'll tell me where I can go. Not saying everyone's so different, but when you do get an idea, because people like to pretend like they're just operating out of infinite possibilities when they're really not, you start to get a pattern. This is why I always use the teacher example. You have kids from different walks of life coming into this classroom. What is it the teacher's job to do? Train all 30 of these little chuckies and literally train them the same way. Maybe two of them are going to need a different type of training. They're equipped for that. But if they can train everybody, a group of people, and then the next group comes, and it's the same rotation, it's showing how much different we do not think. That's how you start to create patterns. Hence why when you're giving advice to certain people, it's like, okay, well, you had a single mom. You're a grown man and you're feeling this type of way. Most likely it's because of this and that. I mean, you could do the same for a girl too.
So I had this random thought, right? And it's still dealing with, in a way, kind of education, but check this out, y'all. I am so tired. I am so tired of every single year when I take my younger kids to elementary school or middle school or whatever. Every single year, it is always maybe 2 or 3 educators, women, right, who are dressed up like they get ready to go to happy hour at a club.
Send them my way.
I am so sick or tired of seeing them. I
Let me
want
hop
the
on Miss Barbara.
bro. Look, I want the old school teacher who wore a t-shirt and jeans, bro, so they can educate my children. I don't want my sons to be not focused in class because they looking at the church, looking at the one teacher ass and stuff throughout the whole lesson. I'm just saying, maybe that does me, man. I'm just tired of that, bro. They need a matter of fact, they need to want to come up with a dress code for real on the cool though. Maybe let's make all the educators wear jeans to school every day and t-shirt with the school logo on there,
They
like a
generally
work
do have a
uniform.
dress code though.
I don't know what's going on with it, bro. Because like,
But
man, these teachers they be pulling up with a tight dress on, stilettos. I'm like, what the hell? Like,
Stilettos.
I'm like, how the hell you can want to teach for 8 hours with some high heels on?
Nah, we going to the lounge and some stilettos.
Cause I don't know, but that does me, bro. Cause like, I just get so sick or tired of seeing that, bro. Then
Speaking of
they
that,
act like, bro,
I'm glad you brought that up. What do you think about the rising awareness of these female teachers sleeping with these kids? Because we're talking about the how the AI is sad, but look at these grown women who are literally sleeping with the 12-year-old boys.
So check
I think
this
we're
out,
just
bro.
hearing more about it now. It's probably always
Yeah.
But that's what I
Yeah,
said. Growing awareness.
yeah, because I'll by ready to say that, Sparrow. When I was in high school, I knew a lot of my peers was sleeping with the one teachers. Man, if they wasn't sleeping with the teachers, they was sleeping with the counselors, bro, for sure.
But it's a growing awareness. You're still sending your kids there. You're sending them there to learn, not to be clapping Miss Barbara's cheeks.
And the sad part about it, they was dressed the same way, bro. Even when I was going to high school, them teachers dressed like they was going to happy hour.
But why aren't we saying that these women teachers are sad? Because they got to get it from a little boy.
Mm-hmm. Man, I have to want to pull up to Miss Johnson class. I'm trying to learn English, and she's sitting up here teaching how to be a thought or something. I don't know what's going on in her head.
She teaching you.
There was what's even worse about that, bro, is that they are literally setting an image for the younger girls because the
Yup.
younger girls are looking at their peers, right? The dudes, right? What the dudes sitting up here like, oh man, she's so fine, blah blah blah, whatever, right? And they're looking and they becoming insecure over the teacher.
Like I said, my one of the guidance counselors, as you mentioned, if y'all look up Eleanor Roosevelt High School, she was in the newspaper because she blew the entire football team. She was letting the football team run a train on her.
Damn,
Older lady.
that's crazy, bro.
And it's
I,
wild because I heard the story from a he said, she said type situation before it ever got put in news. But it was from a dude who's a real honest guy. So it was like, I believed him, although he couldn't really give the evidence. And then, bam, she got caught and it was dead in the newspaper.
Some guy at the bar just told me not too long ago this story because like I saw something on the news, again, and we started talking about it, and he starts telling this story, and like he's like with either his wife or his girlfriend, and like she was like she remembered that he told her the story, but apparently he slept with like his nurse, his school nurse.
damn.
Well, that's not
Yeah,
surprising. They say nurse.
and
You know what they say about nurses?
and
Hello,
like
nurse.
it was just kind of like, oh damn, like really. So it is more common. I think because like with because guys, people don't look at it as bad, but I'm like, nah, a kid's a kid. Like even if
Yeah.
he's 16, like a 16-year-old boy, like Ian is a 16-year-old boy, like come on, man, you know what you're doing, asshole. Like that's not. There is an issue, and we need to do something because like it's like a known fact. Like for some reason, female PDF files don't like they don't get like the same sentences, and I think that's ridiculous. I feel like, oh, if you do anything with a child, like you're a monster. So like
Yeah.
the
Period.
same consequence, like so like the same way we treat, and I'm not saying that because it's like, oh, it's not fair for the women and the men. No, that's literally just not fair. It's like they're kids, like you're fucking kids. Like that's not. You can be some gross dude with a comb over. You could be some hot, school guidance counselor. It doesn't matter. It's kids.
But here's the problem with it though, and this go to the parenting. Now there some fathers they'll look at their sons and they did that right, and they'll say congratulate. It's like, man, you didn't hit the guidance counselor, bro. You done became a man, and they'll encourage that behavior, bro. Like it's like they won a trophy when it's not. That is horrible.
I sincerely hope that is not the majority. Like if I found out my son, like again, it's not my son fucked the teacher. It's the teacher fucked my son. Like no.
Exactly.
Oh my god, I would be mad. I wouldn't kill that lady. But I wouldn't do that because that's wrong.
Nah, you said it right, bro. You doing exactly what a father's supposed to do, which is to protect, because that's a predator.
Uh, boy, you know how I get annoyed because we like to speak on reality. And when you speak on reality, I don't think a lot of fathers are doing their job because Department of Justice statistics and child services statistics show just how bad these fathers are at abusing their children, especially under the ages of 6 years old.
Hmm.
And we'll love
I
to
would
sit
never
here
understand that.
and people like to be like, hey, I hope that's not the majority. But then when you start seeing numbers like 56,000 confirmed cases of kids under the age of 6 confirmed to be abused by their parent, 90% of it is dominantly the male. When you see 500,000 juveniles confirmed to be assaulted by someone at home, 90% of it is the man. When you start seeing that data constantly rising, and CPS cannot help all these people, you can't even ask, why aren't you telling them? Because they outright tell you for every 1,000 cases, only 300 actually go through. And out of those 300, only 50 actually see a conviction. Or no, 20. Out of the 50, only 20 see a conviction. But
How?
you learn very quickly a lot of these parents aren't doing their job or protecting their children.
Man, that is sad. Just like I told you over here on the lounge, I used to want to do social work, but also my wife, she currently doing social work right now. She currently works for Child Protective Services, and when she be sharing me these cases, bro, about the abuse that these children be going through, and what Lionel is saying is correct. Majority of it do be happening by the male, by the father, or some father-like figure in that household. Every single time, it's horrible, bro. I mean, horrible. It made me one of those. Mm.
Well, I pretty much can get how her mentality is.
Yeah,
Once again, this is why I can also understand a dude trying to talk to an AI. Or it's sad, but I can get it.
I mean, I definitely understand. I was
I was saying, like last year, I was helping mentoring this little boy. He was 19. He got gang assaulted by 5 older guys. He was assaulted by his father. He was assaulted by his stepfather. This is a boy who was having mental breakdowns, shivering in a corner, crying, screaming, waking up at night. He had to go get legitimate help. Life sucked. If the dude said, hey, he want to talk to an AI, what am I telling him?
I would still tell them like, no, that ain't the way, bro.
I ain't gonna say give up now, don't get me wrong.
Sparrow
I'm
said, "Hell no."
I
But
tell
I
you,
do
even all that, like,
understand
and all
what
that
he's
shit is sad. Like, you told like the saddest possible story you could. The only thing that you left out was like, oh, his dog died. Like that really. And I'm not trying to even downplay it.
No,
Like
I
that
got you.
sucked. I would still be like, nah, bro. Like
I
that.
mean, his
No
girl,
AI.
like he had a girlfriend and she knew me, but she knew of the work I did. That's how I found out about him. So she has sent him my way because she was like, I can't do nothing for him. She's right. She wasn't equipped to handle his situation.
So, like me personally, right? And we talk about this AI situation now. If it came to me having the choice to talk to AI versus not talking to anyone at all, period. How the way I'm in my age now, bro. I prefer to just not talk to nobody at all. You know what I'm saying? That is how I honestly feel, man. But I'm thankful and blessed that I have a wonderful, phenomenal wife. You know what I'm saying? Where we can always talk. We have these conversations. Where we have the good in with the bad and all that good old stuff. So I'm thankful and blessed for that. But however, if I didn't meet her, bro, I'll be practically happy being on my own, just chilling, bro, just chilling out and doing my own thing. And I really wouldn't need a lot of that social interaction since I already had dealt with that, during my younger life.
I get a dog.
Yeah, get a dog
I
too.
like
Get a dog.
I have a dog.
Exactly.
I would just chill with her, or like I would just be that guy in bars, like forcing conversation with strangers. Like I would just be that guy.
Yeah, just be chilling. Just sit up here chilling, drinking the cold one, bro. Just having a conversation. You be fulfilled just in that little conversation. At Buffalo Wild Wings to go home.
So the thing is, I understand mainly because it's an option made readily available and made popular to what the youth are growing into. Too many parents have literally put their kids in front of put them in front of the PlayStation and walked away. Here, put them in front of this little leapfrog and run away. Too many parents have put their kid in front of the computer and just walked away. So their mind has been wired that way. So, and then they're on their phone all the time. They're on their tablet all the time. They got the watch all the time. So now their mind has has literally been configured to be part of that. I understand that, hey, now these kids, they feel like, hey, the AI, it's part of the system. So I get what they grew into, and I blame the parents because they put that reality on them.
AI is bad, but I get it, y'all. Fun as always.
No, you're good.
I don't like the robots. Again, I use ChatGPT. It's basically Google now.
Yeah.
So it is efficient there. But
They got the female girls already out. I mean, iRobot is here.
yeah, I sleep in a big bed with my wife. So I get it, you guys. Good night.
I appreciate it, bro. Once again, salute to everybody who are tuned into the show. This is the Ask Urban Anything show. All we doing, we're just having a thought-provoking conversation. Oh, speaking of thought-provoking, right? Those of y'all who didn't check my community wall, I did make this post on my community wall stating that I am the official owner of the thought-provoking sector. So it is what it is, where I'm actually influencing a lot of people to have thought-provoking conversations now versus, having beef and different other things as well too, what I'm saying, to try to create content. So I'm happy that I'm that gateway for people where, I could bridge that for people where they can do that, you know what I mean? So it's cool. So we could want to keep that up for real, you know what I'm saying? Keep it up with the thought-provoking content or thought-provoking content sector.
I'm dead serious when I say I'm very always curious about people and their experience. I don't think I got any of this about them. I'm always curious to see what was going on that led them to where they're at
Mm-hmm.
because it matters. I don't want to.
Yeah, because you're right, because experience do matter. Experience absolutely matter because does like you were saying earlier, you have to figure out where that person is at so you can navigate to how the way you could help them the best way you can.
But this is where I'm also saying, how often do you meet these people? They don't want to understand. You could literally give them a mind reading machine and a certain particular type of person, gender, wouldn't even want to. because they already know they're not gonna like it.
Mm-hmm.
Some people literally just want to be right.
Yep.
Even if they're wrong, they want to be right.
The crazy part about it is that they'll say the same exact thing to us, bro. They'll like, yeah, they just got to be right all the time. See, it's look, it's not that we're right all the time or even if I'm right all the time, because I know when I be wrong, and I can admit it when I'm wrong too. If you show me where I'm wrong and where I err it at, and I'll admit it, I'll straight up be like, you know what, you're right, I'm wrong, you're right.
Prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm. But other than that, if you can't prove it without having some type of emotions behind it, then yeah.
Prove me wrong. That's all I ask. I don't even think I'm asking much. Prove me wrong. And then if they say that's yours or that's not all, that's not the majority, then tell me, how often are you traveling?
Mm-hmm.
How often are you going out? How often are you seeing people?
Yep. Do you want to know how I became this annoyed out where people say that I am right? You know how I got to that level? I got to that level because I'm currently humble,
How you
and
get to it?
because I'm very humble and I'm very teachable as well too. If you show me something right, I'm gonna learn it, and I'm gonna add it to my very being every single time. It's just that simple.
Teachable. You gotta be teachable in life, no matter what. Can't stop learning. Can't stop wanting to learn. Can't stop wanting to understand people's perspective.
Mm-hmm. But once again, the only issue with that is that you have to have that drive, that will to want to learn something new.
Do you think a lot of young men are seeing that growing up?
No,
Damn.
absolutely not.
But these women are the most educated, right? They
Yep.
driven. That's why I say they selfish.
Mm-hmm.
That's all. That's why I say they selfish.
I didn't have this drive that I have right now until I became a adult. Well, after I think around by 23, 24, somewhere around there. That's when I started having this drive that I want to just be very knowledgeable. I want to learn as much stuff as possible. I want to be taught everything that's possible. But prior before that, to be honest with you, bro, I wasn't hearing it at all, period. You know what I'm saying? Based on how the way I was programmed, I was not hearing it.
Me and my sister were talking about the Scholastic Book Fair from back in the day. And we
Oh
were
yeah.
talking about the rise and fall of Goosebumps. So I was just telling her the story. And I was telling her, one of my favorite books was Animorphs. And I told her how I didn't have the money to afford these books. So I would used to steal books from the book fair. I couldn't wait for the book fair. And I would be stealing books. I'd be putting them under my shirt, and putting them in my underwear and just walking out. And she thought it was hilarious that I was stealing books of all things. Not out here, robbing people or taking candy or taking money or anything. I was stealing books. But I love to read. Couldn't afford it. You're a little child, can't really afford it. Mama don't got the money. So I took it.
So there was little boys out there that was stealing bubble gum from the stove. They were stealing Power Ranger action figures. This fool here was stealing books like it ain't nothing.
I had a collect. I kid you not. I had a collection of books, and it wasn't just Animorphs, but it was just a collection of books that came from me stealing from the book fair because it was easy access. They would see me in and out of that crap. When they had like bookathons at this school, I kid you not, I dominated that list. Put a star on the board for every book you read. These kids would have 3 stars. I'd be looking at 27. I'd be giving the report and everything because again, that's what I was into. I would be sitting here reading a dictionary, learning words, you know, just reading. And when I got put on punishment, guess what my mom did? Outside of the normal crap, she'd make me read a whole book, something I didn't like, and write a report on.
Damn. But
Like,
that goes to the learning part though. You sit
yep.
up here and learning something even if you didn't want to learn it. You learned it.
That's why I also told you, like, and I took that and I transformed it to something different when it came to my siblings so they could understand to look at multiple perspectives. Of course, I'm not doing that as a punishment, but I took what she did and utilized a similar lesson but a different way.
Mm-hmm.
But again, she wasn't being taught, put it on a U-boat or enough that's damaged. If that's damaged, we gotta just put it out there. So yeah, she was heavily involved. And it's like I can say this stuff, but I've also seen my mom and what she did. She was heavily involved in my education. She was heavily involved in my sister's education. And we saw her a little too much. But I didn't appreciate that as a child as I would as an adult. Because I saw,
Mm-hmm.
dang, this woman ain't make no excuses. She was at the parent teacher conference. We went to the, board of education a few times because she wasn't happy with certain things. We talked to the principal. She was involved. She knew the homework I had. Even if she didn't understand it, she was looking at it, asking questions. But then again, I talk to women now. These women generally all got kids. They don't do that crap. These women are 40 plus.
Mm-hmm.
I talk to teachers. I'm still surrounded by them. They'll tell you the same thing. That's not what these parents are doing. These parents, you're like, oh, you finished your homework? All right, you can go on the PS5.
Yep. Lack of social interaction there for sure.
It's wild. The social interaction is a conversation that I'm also just thinking about. Because when I think about it, what do people want to talk about? And it's like a legitimate question. What are you supposed to talk about in a social interaction? Because when you hear me talk to my associates here, they bitch about their wife or they talk about politics.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially what they do. Personally, I don't care about this crap all the time. I get it. Your wife is trash. I get it. Trump sucks. I get it. The governor's trash. The electric bill is rising. It all sounds like petty shit to me. I mean, obviously, certain politics mean something. But 4, 5, 6. But I'm saying, what do you want to talk about? But then that's why I say find a community. That social interaction, to me, it's about the community you're in. What community are you in terms of the social interaction?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the anime community, you're going to have a different course of dialogue. I don't think you no longer need to have general discourse. I don't want to sit here and talk to you about how the egg prices look ridiculous. I don't care. Well, because of where I work, I really don't care. Y'all think I want to be talking about freaking frozen and dairy crap. I don't want to hear that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but I would love let's talk about philosophy. How philosophy's dead. Let's talk about Naruto and how anime is redefining philosophy. You know, let's talk about things like that. If you want to talk about stock tips, sure, let's talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get a
It's
little extra bread.
it's a lot of stoicism in anime, man. People missing out on that, like for real.
They are. They don't want to hear it. They looking at you like you crazy. They're gonna be like, what's the general thing you're gonna hear? My son watches it. Or my daughter watches it.
Mm-hmm. Because there are a lot of life lessons in anime. Them writers, they be writing like they talking to you in real life, for real, but through characters.
But it's the children that are watching because apparently the adults can't make time for it. That's another thing my mom did. My mom was into every damn TV show I had. If I was watching cartoons, she was watching it. Anime, she was watching it. Wrestling, she was watching it. Comedy, she was watching it. Whatever I watched, she was watching.
Mm-hmm.
Except, corn. Had to sneak away from that one. Can't have her watching that with me.
Yeah. So we kind of talked about this a little bit, and I kind of hinted it on her about the age gap differences in relationships, and now let's talk about that. With the adult women having sex with these younger boys and stuff, right? But it was leading into the one conversation with the dating age gap between men and women. Like, it's celebrated when a woman is dating a man who's younger than her or younger than her age, right? But however, it's considered as being, being a perv or a pedophile when a man do the same as that thing. And so I was leading on to that to have that conversation, but not tonight though. But I was leading on to that to want to have that conversation and really talk about that predatory behavior, because once again, it's not talked about. It's really not talked about at all. How these women are predators. How these women going to other countries and doing the same thing, doing this predatory work and all this weird stuff. So,
And they not stopping. They are
mm-hmm.
not stopping in this quote unquote man controlled world. It's definitely a manipulative world that the women orchestrate.
Yep. Yeah, facts.
Just being honest. They don't want to take accountability for that. That's cute, but that's the reality.
Yep.
But
But just like I say, I'm actually gonna do a separate show, and I'm gonna be talking about that. Bring a lot of information, data, and different things like that to bring awareness to that, because like I say, it's a double standard for sure in that.
I'm looking forward to it, man. I know the women aren't.
Yeah. But other than that, man, you got any closing thoughts, bro?
No, this was a fine show. We didn't talk to Fukisha though.
Yeah, I just gave Keisha a break, man. I'm trying to wait on her timer to reset. So when our timer reset, we're gonna bring Keisha on here and we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah, I'm trying to hear from Fukisha. And she cute.
Yeah, Pukisha. Hey, speaking of which, y'all, that picture that y'all see on the thumbnail, I typed that in and I told Pukisha to design herself as a black woman who's educated, she's but what I told her, I said, design yourself to be a black woman who's educated and also have natural hair and different things like that and stuff. So she's like, okay, and she designed it herself.
Look at that.
How did that look, Urban? I was like, oh, okay, that's cool, Pukisha.
Yeah, you look cute. Look like you've been on the block a few times. You look cute.
Yeah. So yeah, ChatGPT Pukisha, she designed herself that way. But yeah, so we're going to I'm going to have a show with her on there. You know what I'm saying? I may do it tomorrow. I don't know, but we'll see.
But yeah, this was good, man. This was a great show. Good conversation. I forgot dude's name, but it was good to have him up too. I loved his perspective on it.
Oh yeah, Sparrow. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
shout out to
great
Sparrow
job.
when he pulled up at the lounge, man. Appreciate you, bro.
But yeah, well, I'm gonna drop down, man. This was good. I appreciate you for having me up.
Are you welcome, man? Have a good remainder of the night.
Have a great night, man.
Once again, shout out to everyone who's on in the building, who's tuning in, watching the show tonight. It was originally supposed to be the Ask Urban or Pukisha show, but like I say, we had a little technical difficulties with her, so we just made it a regular Ask Urban show. And Lionel, he came up and shared his perspective, and also Sparrow as well too came up and they shared their perspective too. So I appreciate both of them gentlemen for pulling up and blessing the lounge. Appreciate y'all a whole lot. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So other than that, y'all, if you want more of this thought-provoking conversations that we be having, where we be thinking outside the box and we talking about it, make sure you hit that thumbs up, man. It let the YouTube algorithm know that you want more of this thought-provoking content as well, y'all. Just like I wanted to announce earlier, I am the official curator of the thought-provoking content setter. You know what I mean? So every content creator who's out there right now, maybe you're tired of being part of, sectors that dealing with beefing. Maybe you're tired of sectors that's dealing with other type of stuff that they're talking about, right? Why not pull over here to the thought-provoking content sector where we could literally have thought-provoking conversations where you literally could think outside the box and present it on your said platform. Why not? Because I believe that these conversations need to be had for real, where we be challenge people to think outside the box, where you don't have to just have it straight and narrow every single time. I do it all the time. I'll be thinking about some weird stuff all the time, and I'll just talk about it, especially dealing with relationships. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. So if you want to be a part of this, man, you want to be a part of this, like if you want to call it community, by all means, just let me know. Pull up to the lounge, let me know, man, and we can just go from there. All right. So appreciate all the other content creators who are a part of it, where they are literally creating thought-provoking content with their said platforms. Appreciate y'all, doing the work. We'll be changing the game. We'll be literally changing the game. So other than that, y'all have a great and wonderful night, and I will see y'all again on the next episode. I think.